Dirt.
Please join me in pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Next, we'll have the reading of the journal. The Secretary will now read.
In Senate, Sunday, January 13th, 2013, the Senate met pursuant to adjournment. The Journal of Saturday, January 12th, was read and approved. On motion, Senate adjourned.
Without objection, the journal stands approved as read. Next, presentation of petitions. Any message from the Assembly? Message from the Governor. Let the record show we are in receipt of the State of the State message from the Governor. I hand it down and ask that it be filed in the journal. Next, reports of standing committees. Secretary will read. Next, any reports of select committees? Communications and reports from state officers. Motions and resolutions.
Some motions.
Senator Janaris.
Mr. President, on behalf of Senator Kruger, I move that the following bills be discharged from their respective committees and recommitted with instructions to strike the enacting clause, Senate number 1475. On behalf of Senator Stavisky, I move that the following bills be discharged from their respective committees and be recommitted with instructions to strike the enacting clause, Senate numbers 633, 645, 1300, 1301, 1308, 1310, and 1317. And on behalf of Senator Montgomery, I move that the following bills be discharged from their respective committees and recommitted with instructions to strike the enacting clause, Senate numbers 1384 and 1403.
So ordered. Senator Libous.
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe there's a privileged resolution at the desk by Senator Seward. May we please have it read in its entirety, and then I believe we would call on Senator Seward before its adoption.
Secretary will read the resolution in its entirety.
Legislative Resolution 22 by Senators Seward, Laval, Flanagan, and Zeldin, commending the Colonel Francis S. Gabreski Cadet Squadron from the Long Island Group of the Civil Air Patrol Color Guard upon the occasion of presenting the colors at the start of the session of the New York State Senate, January 14th, 2013. Whereas it is the sense of this legislative body to recognize that the quality and character of life in the communities across New York State are reflective of the concerned and dedicated efforts of those organizations and individuals who are devoted to the welfare of the community and its citizenry. And whereas, attendant to such concern and in full accord with its longstanding traditions, this legislative body is justly proud to commend the Colonel Francis S. Gabreski Cadet Squadron from the Long Island Group of the Civil Air Patrol Color Guard, upon the occasion of presenting the colors at the start of the session of the New York State Senate, to be held on Monday, January 14th, 2013, at the New York State Capitol in Albany, New York. And whereas the Civil Air Patrol enjoys a proud legacy of selfless sacrifice and service to country and community that spans decades, the organization was born 1 week prior to the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. And whereas thousands of volunteer members of the Civil Air Patrol answered America's call to national service and sacrifice by accepting and performing critical wartime missions. And whereas on July 1st, 1946, President Harry S. Truman signed Public Law 476, incorporating the Civil Air Patrol as a benevolent nonprofit organization. On May 26, 1948, Congress passed Public Law 557, permanently established the Civil Air Patrol as the auxiliary of the United States Air Force. And whereas 3 primary mission areas were set forth at the inception of the Civil Air Patrol: aerospace education, cadet programs, and emergency services. And whereas today, the Civil Air Patrol handles 90% of inland search and rescue missions, with approximately 75 lives saved each year. Its members are generally the first on the scene, transmitting satellite digital images of the damage within seconds around the world, and providing disaster relief and emergency services following natural and man-made disasters, including 911, Hurricane Katrina, Texas and Oklahoma wildfires, tornadoes in the South and Central United States, North Dakota flash flooding, and the October 2006 earthquake in Hawaii, as well as humanitarian missions along the United States and Mexican border. And whereas, in response to the devastating effects of Hurricane Sandy, the Civil Air Patrol's New York wing promptly reacted by flying 373 damaged assessment sorties and providing 143,000 aerial photographs to New York disaster relief organizations, FEMA and the Army Corps of Engineers, providing air transportation throughout the affected region for disaster response teams, deploying 30 volunteers to assist with shelter operations conducted by the New York City Office of Emergency Management, and installing 40 volunteers to assist the Red Cross with the logistics of relief supplies. Whereas the members of the Colonel Francis S. Gabreski Cadet Squadron from Long Island Group of the Civil Air Patrol Color Guard include Dennis and Alex Wojtowicz of Selden, Thor Hawry of Miller Place, Ed Nelson of Manorville, Peter Sakonis of Port Jefferson Station, Christopher Russo of Sayville, Connor Morris and Richard Breyer of Holbrook, and Louis Fennick of Sayville. Whereas the Civil Air Patrol makes a huge impact each and every day, going above and beyond to make a profound difference in America's communities. And whereas this occasion presents a unique opportunity for this legislative body to recognize and pay tribute to the members of the Colonel Francis S. Gabreski Cadet Squadron from the Long Island Group of the Civil Air Patrol Color Guard. And whereas it is the sense of this legislative body that when organizations of such noble aims and accomplishments are brought to our attention, they should be recognized by all the citizens of this great empire state. Now therefore be it resolved that this legislative body pause in its deliberations to commend the Colonel Francis S. Gabreski Cadet Squadron from Long Island Group of the Civil Air Patrol Color Guard and its members upon the occasion of presenting the colors at the start of the session of the New York State Senate. And be it further resolved that copies of this resolution, suitably engrossed, be transmitted to Colonel Jack Ozer, New York Wing, Civil Air Patrol.
Thank you. Senator Seward on the resolution.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I'm delighted to have sponsored this resolution along with my colleagues, Senator Laval, Flanagan, and Zeldin. It's an honor and privilege to rise and recognize the members of the Colonel Francis S. Gabreski Cadet Squadron from the Long Island Group of the New York Wing of the Civil Air Patrol Color Guard. In recent years, it's become a wonderful tradition here in the Senate. It's early in our legislative session that we have the color guard from a cadet unit of the Civil Air Patrol come and present the colors in such a a noble and respectful way, and today has been no exception at all. A wonderful job on behalf of our cadets presenting the colors today. You know, as many of you know, the Civil Air Patrol is a volunteer, a non-profit auxiliary of the United States Air Force, and we mainly think of the Civil Air Patrol as helping in providing emergency services throughout the state of New York, including such things as forest fire protection, disaster relief service, guaranteed communications, and all aspects of aircraft emergency assistance. Many have come to know just this past fall the important work by the Civil Air Patrol during response to Superstorm Sandy. You know, Civil Air Patrol members have assisted FEMA, the Army Corps of Engineers, and various disaster relief groups with air transportation, staffing of shelters, and countless other vital services. But in addition to all of this outstanding service and work for the people of the state of New York, one of the best things that the Civil Air Patrol does is also encourage activities to help develop young people into responsible citizens, and they do that through their outstanding cadet program. You know, the Color Guard team that we are honoring today is comprised of exceptional young adults in the Civil Air Patrol's cadet program. This cadet program, which is designed for young adults ages 12 through 18, aims to develop essential life skills and instill values, including such things as teamwork, personal integrity, leadership, respect, and self-confidence, just to name a few. And all of our cadets who are with us today, they certainly are developing all of those outstanding characteristics. So we're honored to have the entire team with us today, along with several fellow members of the Civil Air Patrol. Our Color Guard team is accompanied today, and I'd like to just acknowledge these individuals with them. Lieutenant Colonel Louis Fenech, Lieutenant Colonel Tom Carello, Lieutenant Colonel Jerry Marquetos, and First Lieutenant Edward Nelson. We're delighted to have all of them with us today accompanying our Color Guard. I'm very sorry that Civil Air Patrol Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Little, one of my constituents, was unable to attend today. He's been involved as a government relations advisor for many years with the Civil Air Patrol. In fact, he is responsible for getting me involved with the Civil Air Patrol back in my district, and I'm very, very sorry that Andy Little is not with us here today. I know he wanted to be here. He helped this new tradition of bringing cadets to the state senate every year, and we're sorry he was unable to be here. You know, cadets here today come from the Senate districts that are actually represented by Senator Laval, Senator Flanagan, and Senator Zeldin, and they may wish to make some comments as well. But I offer my heartfelt congratulations to all for their achievements, and thank you for all that you do for the people of the state of New York, particularly our cadets. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Laval to speak on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, let me say to the cadets, thank you for coming to Albany. Thank you for your volunteerism. Thank you for what you did during Hurricane Sandy. And you are truly very, very responsible individuals. And, well, I haven't had a chance to talk to you, but I will. I do know that today's trip to Albany, while you got up early and you came here, was a good experience, and you got to discuss and debate some of the issues of the day. So I think you're going back to Long Island with some additional knowledge. Let me just say to the body that this cadet unit squadron is housed at the Francis Gabreski Airport. And at that site is the location of the 106 Air National Guard. that has been famous for a lot of saves during Perfect Storm and a lot of other critical saves across very treacherous waters. So I'm sure that just being at and part of a very historic group and a nationally recognized group helps you look into the future, and maybe for some that will be something that you want to do as a vocation. Again, thank you for the interest that you show and the things that you do each and every day, and you're great role models at your schools for other students.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Flanagan?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to join in the comments of Senator Seward and Senator Laval, and in absentia, I want to add the voice of Senator Zeldin. He is serving our country right now on some military training, so he's meeting his obligations elsewhere. So I'm proud to know that he's doing that, but it's always nice to have constituents here. It's great to have young leaders who exemplify the values that we all hope to see in our own children, and I want to hope that you have a great visit here. We look forward to having you come back, and keep up the great community-minded service that you always provide. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Griffo?
Thank you, Mr. President. I also want to extend our thanks to all of these young cadets for their service and their dedication and commitment, and tell you how proud we are of each and every one of you for your interest and what you are trying to do to become so involved and to be such an important part of such a worthy and valuable organization. I also want to express our appreciation to all of the adult officers and advisors who are with the group. I'm fortunate to have Lieutenant Colonel Jerry Marquetos as a member of my district, a constituent, and I know how hard he works, and I appreciate all of their hard work and diligence in working with these young men and women. So again, thank you all. We sincerely appreciate all of your efforts and service.
Thanks, Senator. Any other members wishing to speak on the resolution? Seeing none, the question is on the resolution. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Resolution is adopted. First of all, I want to thank you and ask that we all join a round of applause for our airport.